First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT-22 News at midday.
Right now, we are in the middle of our second consecutive first alert weather day, and just as predicted, some areas are getting significant lake effect snow. We have team first alert weather coverage. WSBT-22's Zach Crenshaw is in New Carlisle, and meteorologist Ed Russo. He's out checking the road conditions as well. First, let's start with meteorologist Carrie Bugeaud. So, Carrie, big question. How much more snow might we get?
Yeah, and that really depends on where you are. But a lot of our areas in the heavier snow bands, a couple more inches this afternoon and a couple more tonight. We're about 2/3 of the way through this event. What will happen this afternoon? It is a first alert weather day, and because of the strengthening conditions of those lake effect bands overnight, we've had some pretty high snow totals, but those snow bands will weaken just a little bit between now and dinner time. That doesn't mean they'll stop, but they'll get a little bit less intense. The problem is we have other issues. It's blowing and drifting. We have gusty winds and wind chills near zero. Now, the lake effect snow tonight will still continue, but it will start to dwindle off as we get into tomorrow. So improving conditions won't really get here until tomorrow. With true lake effect fashion, we have these lake effect bands, and in between them, we see sunshine, and underneath them, nearly whiteout conditions in some pockets. The heaviest snow right now really in St. Joe County, and this goes from the northwest corner, New Carlisle area, and then all the way down the south side of South Bend, right along the bypass, ends up in northern Kosciuszko County, some of those heaviest snow bands, but also in Elkhart County, where we haven't seen a lot of heavy snow, right along 33, Dunlap down to Goshen, New Paris area, one of the heavier bursts that are happening, at least at this moment. These bands have wobbled back and forth east to west as the winds have changed just a slight direction, but what you can expect this afternoon in those heavier bands, another 2 to 4 inches. That's from this morning through this afternoon. If you're south of those bands, you may get a little bit of light snow, but it's not going to be quite as significant. But one thing I can tell you is temperatures have been in the teens all day. Wind chills have been near zero. That is not going to be nice if you have to spend much time outside. And we'll have more updates on the snow for tonight, and we'll talk about the totals overall, how much people have seen, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Carrie, thanks very much. One of the areas hardest hit with lake effect snow, LaPorte County. WSBT-22 Zach Crenshaw is live in downtown New Carlisle. And Zach, what are the conditions like there?
Well, they're not too terrible on the roads, Bob, but as you can see, the snow has definitely picked up in the last 30 minutes. It's been on and off all morning thanks to those lake effect bands Carrie talked about. New Carlisle got a ton of snow overnight, and up till the point where we are now, about 10 inches in some places. And as you can see, that number could rise. The good news is the roads, as I mentioned, are well cleared. We've probably seen as many plow trucks as regular cars on the road. They've been constantly plowing the side streets and main roads so that drivers are able to travel safely. We also came across a number of youngsters enjoying their snow day out of school. Some were having a snowball fight. One teenager we talked to said he was going to go snowmobiling later today. And from young to old, almost everyone we talked to was enjoying the winter weather, even if they were out shoveling.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's light, it's fluffy, it's clean. I love it. Yeah. But I'm too old to be doing this anymore, but I still want to do it.
New Carlisle, which is the self-proclaimed snow capital of Indiana, says they're used to this type of weather in February. You can see people behind me are out shoveling the sidewalks of businesses. They say snow actually pulls the community together and kind of helps everyone, you know, band together, get outside. We see neighbors helping neighbors, saw some kids helping that elderly lady that you heard from. So just kind of, you know, despite the cold, they're really having a good time out here. And if it keeps up, as we see the snow even picking up during this live shot, they're going to have to break out those shovels again later this afternoon. Back to you in the warm studio, Bob.
All right, Zach.
Capital in eastern St. Joseph County, and much of the measurements I've taken this morning have been between 7 and 8 inches, and the main roads are okay. They're still somewhat snow covered, but it's really the secondary roads behind me that you can still see a lot of packed snow against the pavement. This is where we're still going to see some icy problems as we head through the day today. Temperatures are still in the teens, wind chills in the single digits. Snow has lightened up here. We even get a few bouts of sunshine, but of course the western part of the county is still where we're seeing a lot of that lake effect snow continuing. So if you're traveling east or west, just 5 or 10 miles, you could very well run into a heavier heavier band of lake effect. But right now in eastern St. Joseph County, secondary roads still pretty snow covered. Main roads looking a little better than they were this morning. The wind not as bad either, but anytime we get a wind gust with this dry, fluffy snow, it is capable of blowing around a bit. So still, as always, throughout the afternoon, you're going to want to allow extra time. Live in St. Joseph County, I'm WSBT 22 First Alert meteorologist Ed Russo.
And thanks very much. Right now, along with the triples, double trailers, as well as the high-profile oversized load limits, the steel haulers, they're all banned from the Indiana Toll Road. The heavy snow bans and the winds prompting this ban. It affects only the area from Portage through Angola, but that is a good stretch of that highway. This is in effect through tomorrow morning. Tow trucks working around the clock to keep you safe. Last night, Precision's Auto Body in Niles towed 21 vehicles in just 2 hours. Today is sure to be busy for crews as well. They want to remind you to take things slow when traveling. As crews work through today, there are things you can do right now to prepare for the worst. For example, keep blankets in your car, a flashlight, extra batteries, food, bottled water, and a first aid kit. Make sure the fluids in your vehicle are topped off, especially that gas tank. Keep your cell phone as charged as possible, and finally have some sandbags for traction just in case you get stuck. Now, if you're hoping to get outside and maybe enjoy some of the snow, Swiss Valley won't be an option today. The ski and snowboard area in Jones just announced it will remain closed today. Now, it posted these new pictures overnight. Workers there are busy making snow, trying to build the base on top of what Mother Nature's brought along with us. Depending on the progress, you might be able to hit the slopes tomorrow. Our First Alert Weather Day coverage continues all afternoon, but in the meantime, you can get the forecast at your fingertips anytime. Just download the free WSBT 22 First Alert Weather app. It's available in the Google Play and Apple iTunes store. You can also share your snow pictures right now. Send them to share@WSBT.com.